recall hearing something in the mid-90s about Ronnie, Greg, and Alpo entertaining the idea of carrying on as a trio, calling it Jackass. Is this horsecore or is this horse shit?
It was a brief time, at least 5 minutes.
I was involved in that. I don't remember anything about it.
It was after I left. It's horsecore West. We actually got together at Francisco Studios, and as I blew through a bunch of amps and equipment, we actually got together with Mike Barbecue and hooked up as many effect pedals as we could, and we were doing some pretty different kind of industrial kind of rhythmic stuff. And then I completely bailed. That's when I sold all my equipment and ran off screaming.
It was a great name to spin off of Deadhorse with.
There was some cool stuff too, man.
Well, here's Ronnie. We used to jam at his place, and he had this sign on the door that you'd enter, and it was a feedback, and it said whatever kind of feed it was, and it said donkeys, mules, and jackasses.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still got it. It's in my garage now.
Yeah, that was like some weird kind of heavy. What would you describe it? My Barbecue was playing like some heavy, dark keyboards.
It's almost like industrial metal shit. Man.
Yeah, it was fucking cool.
So it was a takeoff than what Deadhorse had been doing. It was something.
It was nothing like Deadhorse at all.
It was a way different direction, but it was nothing light at all. It was real dark and fucking heavy. And I wish we still had some recordings of it. That was awesome stuff, man. It was the first time I was
line right there. You got hands of love here.
Oh man, wow. It was some heavy shit. It was coming out mean, man.
Well, if we had a every song or something, we came up with, didn't record, didn't remember. We come up with just tons of shit.
What in the hell is wrong with you people? Word of a Deadhorse practice room, complete with bones dangling from the ceiling and a solitary red light bulb in the center of the room has circulated for years. Is this another pile of horse shit, or was this what I suspect a very real possibility of a room at Francisco Studios?
No, everything that came out of Deadhorse was in my mom's garage.
Yeah, really?
It took 5 to 7 years to create that room, and I can say that I actually did most of the work in there, from hanging all the shit, the beer cans, the lights. I hung every red bulb I could find. We even had fluorescent red bulbs in there, and we would turn everything off and have nothing but red in there because it was cool. We thought it was funny.
Yeah. See, I've actually heard out of people's mouths that they had walked into this room and it hit their heads on shit they didn't even see walking into it. Yeah. So that's the horse shit I'm talking about.
Well, that's true.
That's the purpose of this.
Well, Fred was hanging in our room, which we still have Fred over at Bubba's house. It's the Flying Dead Horse, and everybody, he used to have a full mouthful of teeth, and everybody would hit their head on his mouth and knocked all his teeth out one by one. Yeah. Of course, I never did because I'm short, so I always walk right under them with no problem. But
so that shot of you guys in a room inside of Peaceful Death.
That is my mom's garage.
That's not Francisco's.
No, we never
dispels our conversation on the way here. We thought it was a room there because of the high ceiling.
No, that was my mom's garage, and it was in existence up until about 6 months ago.
Yeah, Ronnie by himself peeled carpet padding into like foot-long strips about 2 inches wide and stapled them on the ceiling. Covered the whole motherfucker, the whole ceiling.
Carpet is the best way to soundproof something, so we made carpet all over the walls and padding and sheetrock and paneling. And I tried to duplicate the carpet on the ceiling, but you couldn't hang carpet on the ceiling, so I figured, well, I'll just make it bigger. So like you said, I hand cut and tore strips of carpet like that, like a pad, and stapled over 10,000 of them on the ceiling. It took about a year to do it.
So the first album worth of songs, y'all honed in there and never had the cops called on you.
We did a few times.
In the beginning.
We did a few times.
But
the cops sided with us.
Yeah, my uncle is a constable in that area. Yeah, and the last time a cop came out there, it was a female constable, and I asked her just for the hell of it, and she walked in right after these guys got done smogging. I mean, she had to walk through fucking reefer, clouds of reefer, fucking smoke and shit, and there's beer all over the place. Anyhow, just for the hell of it, I asked her. I said, hey, you know Brooks? And shoot, man, her eyes got all big. Oh man, me and Brooks used to date a long time ago. And I said, no way, that's my uncle. She goes, no shit. I said, all right, well, I'll take care of these people or some shit like that. She went next door and bitched the neighbors out, and we never got the law called on us ever again.
And after that, we jammed the jam. We always stopped at 9 o'clock because that's the curfew time to stop the noise ordinance. And one by one, all my neighbors around my mom's house moved out.
Was was that here in Dickinson or was that Texas?
Oh, it's over in Sixmont.
The cops never came the 2 years I was in, 94 to 96, not once.
Yeah.
Right, well that happened like...
Y'all still were.
We could jam and you could stand outside of it.
We only
It
actually
would be a faint, maybe like a boombox inside. He had it pretty fucking well, man.
We did insulate it pretty good.
We actually only practiced at Frisco's, you know, maybe twice.
Alan would come up with these crazy ideas and say, hey, I'm from the band. I remember they had the Mampeg cabinets that were finished in AstroTurf. And he'd say, hey, these guys are going to open for us, but they're going to let us jam at Francisco's, and maybe it'll spark some creativity. We'll write some new riffs.
That was
he was always about moving us around, thinking that the different environment might spark us to come up with something new, which wasn't a bad idea, you know.
Yeah, it's legit.
Is it horse shit or is it horse sport? Were you a police officer or not? Because you sure looked like one in 1996.
Yeah,
The big mustache.
No, dude, the buzz cut. You look like a pissed off rookie beat cop.
Greg started that rumor, by the way.
Really, because he did it from across Abyss, where I heard it.
No, Greg started that rumor, I'm serious.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one too.
But no, I wasn't a cop.
Military?
No.
I'm gonna leave it at that because
I always wished I had. My granddad was in for 28 years, a retired colonel, and I always feel ashamed that I didn't join the army because of that. But no military, no police.
that was one of the rumors that we had to inquire on. Okay, so you haven't unlawfully arrested or detained anybody?
He was an actor in Village People on Broadway, though.
You were in that? I love that show, man. Moving on. Morality lessons from a zombie.
Oh yeah.
Not long ago, Zombie Ray had confided in me, more like grumbled something to me, about being overlooked in his contribution to a Dead Horse classic. He wasn't at all specific, and over the next few weeks that followed, I would continue to press him as to which Dead Horse tune he had a part in co-authoring. He finally broke down and told me that his songwriting claim was attributed to the 1990 Dead Horse classic, French Fry. I said, you helped write that? Which part of that did you write? After a momentary pause, he finally said the title. He said, I gave it the name. So, from the horse's mouth, might we give this man his overdue public acknowledgement for artistic contribution? I asked you, did Zombie Ray give this 40-second long masterpiece its glorious title?
I'll tell you something that probably ought to come to light right now. From the time that we got together and started writing songs under the name Dead Horse until we gave it a break, Zombie Ray wrote everything.
I know he told me he bought you your first guitar in high school. Showed me a picture of some piece of shit that didn't have any knobs or something. I said,
painted
Greg.
it.
He painted it.
Yeah. I bought it. Well, actually, my parents did.
Man, would you elaborate, because you just gave us a beautiful story out there on it.
Well, you know, like I said, it's kind of a two-part thing where I was still living at home with my parents, and my stepmom had bought some microwave French fries, and we had a party when they were out of town, and Greg was eating frozen food out of the microwave, out of the refrigerator without even, you know, cooking it. So I cooked him some microwave French fries, and he just thought it was so preposterous that there was fast food that was frozen and you cook it in a microwave. And I guess later on we were somewhere in a car a long way from home, and I got some out of the Quickie Mart or whatever the fuck it was, and I heated them up, and we got back into the car to go, and apparently I started flinging them around, and I guess Mike had made the comment, you know, poke out his eye with his fry. It kind of all went from there. It's one of those things we really didn't mean to do, but you know, like Greg said, you know, from the beginning, Zombie Ray pretty much wrote everything.
So this is horse shit. Ronnie, what do you remember about it? I mean, this was done by Cable, right? Y'all did this for the Voices of a Red God initially.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In 90, and then it went on to the first pressing of the Horse Core CD when that came out.
Yeah. And you know what? After we recorded it, we were done, and Richard looked at us and goes, "Okay, man, it's all sounding great. You guys ready to go?" He thought we were fucking off, man.
That's awesome. I know this much. I remember an article and something, I don't know if it was written in or one of these local brags or to release when it came out. To this day, I regret that I did not pitch together some money and buy the vinyl.
I think he has been paid in beer more than twice over.
Yeah.
We'll get Arjo to give him a hand job.
The next thing we know, he's going to be filing a workman's comp for fucking brain
Take one
damage.
for the team, brother. Come on.
You don't know how many times we came after walking on the stage to our dressing room to get a cold beer, and we find Ray passed out on the couch and beer cans, and all the beer's gone. He drank it all while we played. It's not a lie. I mean, you didn't fucking save us one beer.
From the horse's mouth. Make check payable to beer. In September 1991, Guns N' Roses released their third studio album on Geffen Records, Use Your Illusion, containing an Axl Rose credited track entitled Dead Horse. Legend has it that you guys got some sort of royalty or settlement in exchange for granting them the right to use the name. Might this definitely be a big steamy pile of horse shit?
Yes.
Hey, have you heard this story?
No.
I haven't either.
Okay, so wow, I've got one that y'all had heard.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
We never got paid off of that. We never got paid off of Big Chief, and we never got paid off of Entombs using Scottish Bell.
okay, let me try this. Did you ever pay the B-52s for?
Yes.
Yes. You actually made payments.
We still make payments.
No shit.
Yes.
Yeah, we made sure that no matter what we did or how we did it, we never got paid for anything.
Yeah.
But we would pay.
But they didn't tell me that.
And we're damn good at it.
The band.
We're damn good at doing everything you're not supposed to do. We don't want to break our record now.
So,
Did you meet Slayer?
No.
No.
We played the next night.
Ah. Oh shit, you're still on the bill with them. Were you on fire with them?
We played Saturday night. They were the headliner Sunday night.
I don't care.
But
Still, you
yeah,
guys are
I'd
going.
still tell everybody we played with Slayer.
I do too. Matter of fact, I told a whole bunch of those sons of bitches just come out of retirement, 15-year retirement, they're going to play for Slayer. What? Word? Yeah, I'll tell you, I don't know what they're up to,
I like the
man.
way you think, Liz.
They're back from the dead. I mean, big time.
And we made sure not to get paid for that either.
Damn skippy. We last met you folks back in October. You had just walked off stage from a stunning comeback performance in Houston that trampled any doubts to the validity of a Dead Horse reunion. I'm gonna need some light. I cannot see this enough to catch the bottom of it. Try again. When we last saw you folks in October, you had just walked off stage from a stunning comeback performance in Houston that trampled any doubts to the validity of a Dead Horse reunion into oblivion. Oblivion. I had that from dancing, by the way. All right. As I was about to turn my back to Ronnie and Alpo and Argo and head back out to my car to see if it had been towed, Argo mentioned something to me in passing about being on a bill the upcoming month with Slayer in Austin. This was definitely going to be one bill, one hell of a triumphant return from the grave for Dead Horse. Take us back now, if you will, to last October. You guys feel like it was a well-received effort for what you put into it?
The Houston show? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was the best show that we ever played.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, I do too. I've seen you guys a dozen times.
It was a lot of work. It was 3 months of preparation for that show, as far as sound, lights, samples, practice, organization. I mean, we practiced and practiced, and we had to make sure. We had to make sure that we proved the point to get out there and just let everybody know that we're still a band. And I think we achieved that.
Plus having a new guy in the band, we really, if we came out there and was sloppy or sucked, or more sloppy than usual, it would have really looked like a fucking bad idea and a failure and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I've never seen you guys so like that. Was, it's absolutely brutal.
Thanks, man.
And the stuff that I actually heard that's coming out of the studio now, the little bits of trickle down that I heard. Wow. I mean, it almost sounds like just it sounds just at a studio recording. It doesn't sound bad at all.
Yep.
It sounds like something. So I'm looking forward to original something or another coming from you guys. Please put something out.
Well, I mean, it goes down to the show. I mean, we went out there with the intent of not only letting everybody know that we're still a band, is, letting everybody know that Mike is in it now.
To see if it still sells too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One interesting thing about that Houston show is people might not realize we probably only got together as all 5 members maybe at the most 7 times.
Yeah.
So, you know, even though we plan on doing it for 5, 6 months maybe, we really only were able to get together about 6 or 7 times as a whole group.
Was the timing just right to do it now? I mean, or was there some incentive with the re-release?
I think it was just a coincidence of when the
Yeah,
time
we didn't really
fell.
sit down and say, okay, now's the right time. We just.
But the re-release, though, kind of, if it weren't for, I mean, it helped it push it along, though.
Well, we decided to do the re-release of the bowling and all that, you know. We need to put that back out on this, you know, the vinyl with digital downloads is another thing.
Actually,
Has it sold out?
It was always overlooked.
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
We have to give Bubba a lot of credit on this because he's basically the one that pushed all this forward. And more or less, Bubba's the one that introduced us to Argo, and Bubba's the one that pretty much talked us all into doing this.
We'll get with that in just a moment because I've asked him from day one backstage at the end of that show where he came from.
What's funny about that is the date today. I mean, it's almost a year to the day that I first jammed with you guys at that first tryout.
Without me.
Because that was a weekend of...
No, because Greg called me. I was at a family reunion in Oklahoma.
You weren't there, were you?
I was at a family reunion in Oklahoma, and Alan calls me. I mean, they were calling me, and I was like in the middle of a family reunion.
Totally jacking.
And my wife's like looking at me, because I'm looking at my phone, and she's like giving me the evil eyes. What are you doing? You know, family reunion. So I snuck outside while everybody was eating. And he calls me, and Bubba calls me, and I finally call one of them back, and Alan's like, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm fucking hiding from my family. I'm in a family reunion, you know? Is this really important? He goes, yeah, it's real important. And all of a sudden, Greg's like, hey, Scott, this is Greg. And I'm like, what the hell happened to Alan? And he's like, hey, man, we're jamming today. And I'm like, yeah, I knew you guys were going to practice without me. And he's like, I said, how's it sound? And he goes, man, it sounds pretty brutal. And I'm like, brutal bad? And he goes, no, really good. I'm like, well, all right. I said, well, how are your vocals coming along? And he's like,
I'm not singing.
he didn't say nothing. He goes, man, it's sounding good. And I said, well, how's Alan sounding? He goes, dude, I got to tell you something. Because we kind of already agreed that we were just going to do it again as a four-piece like we ended on it. And he said, dude, Bubba's friend Argo's singing. And I was like, you're fucking fucking with me.
Whose decision was that? Who brought that in?
Bubba brought Argo in.
But he was on again, off again, on again, off again. We were going to do it.
See, if I can interject, that show that I swear was December of '96. I saw a bootleg of that somewhere down the road. A friend of mine had a VHS of it. And it looked like it was kind of a labor thing. Or it looked, I mean, you guys were already preoccupied with what you were doing with your own, with the music aspect of it. But now all of a sudden y'all are also having to fill a vacancy of a vocalist.
Right.
I mean, the guitar thing, you came in and covered that fine. But now that all of a sudden there's the fact that, well, there's another guy that used to do all the vocals, and now y'all are splitting it. And some of that may not have come off too well when you actually got back and looked at it in review.
Oh, yeah.
And what crossed my mind to this guy, when I first saw it and started to think about it, it made me wonder if y'all didn't sit down and actually talk about that last show, that I swear was December of '96, and not want to repeat that, and be able to do how y'all played it Warehouse Live, where y'all did backup, and y'all, I mean,
Here's the thing. I had a bootleg tape from one of our last shows.
He had an audio.
And I made a copy for everybody, and everybody listened to it. And
I didn't.
I thought you did.
That's all right.
Because you don't have a CD. You don't have it. He's got a tape player. But the decision was made was that Alan and Scott and Greg were not good singers. and it really took away from our playing our instruments.
Yeah.
You know, I was never a singer in Force Fed. I was just a guitar player, and I yelled a couple backup lines. And why he wanted me to be the, you know, yeah, you can come in and sing. And I was like, I've never sang before, you know.
That's just because we didn't want to do it.
That's a common misconception, though. I've had to correct our editor a time or two.
And I didn't. And a lot of people think that I came in to replace Tag and was the lead singer. And the thing was, I sang 5 songs out of our 25, 30 songs.
You sang a song called "Reach Around." People thought you were a cop. That's all we knew about you for 10, 15 years.
You know, one thing that I talked to Argo about when we were mixing down this live audio is the sound's completely different than the old Dead Horse does in a very precise way, where the old Dead Horse from Horsecore, you can hear every instrument individually, but it never really came together as a unit. A couple times maybe on Peaceful Death, there's parts where it's like Slayer, just moving forward like a massive wall. Well, in the new recording we made for the live stuff, it's like just a wall. It's all together as a unit. And that's something we never really had before, especially when it got real fragmented. You know, we were trying to create this deal, and we were able to reproduce it in the studio with foiling, but when we played it live, it never came through because it was all being pieced together because we're all having to manage different parts. So when we were able to give all the vocals over to Argo and we just focus on the music, you saw it at Warehouse Live. I mean, it came across as more of a unit that it never had been before.
Yeah. I could tell that Haga is not Deadhorse. Listen, every god for himself. Here's my rebuttal to that. Have y'all heard his cover of that on Demon Seeds? It's like a demo or some shit. It doesn't stand.
It ain't Deadhorse.
That's my point. So when I hear this, he ain't Haga. Yeah, you're right. They never said nothing about it. That's the thing that they told the guy at Warehouse Live.
I'm not trying to be Haga, man. Yeah.
But what he does do is he stands in that man's shoes and he fucking holds it down. I don't remember hearing one damn song at Warehouse Live that you guys did not do from the catalog. I could be wrong. I was fidgeting with security camera and all this other crap. But I think I heard every damn song from every record.
It felt like it.
There weren't a whole lot that we
For this guy here, to just come out of nowhere at the beginning of that night and pull that off,
yeah,
man, y'all got a powerhouse here. That's why I do something with this guy.
He's a real good singer, man.
Yeah. Plus, we fucked with him too.
I kind of figured, being the youngster and everything, that you guys probably pull all kind of crap.
Well, he's the FNG, the fucking new guy. So we
I'm not the new guy anymore.
The funny thing is, he'll always be the.
It was a proud moment.
Well, now hold on. Now let's not get everything confused here. At practice, we don't drink as much as we used to, but we still drink at practice.
Right.
But at shows, we're fucking. I mean, I can speak for myself. I don't even know how I made home.
Yeah,
made it home.
The 5 of you as a unit got up on that stage October 22nd at Warehouse Live, and you performed as a unit with the same thing in mind as if you had rehearsed with a goal. And that's not something that you
gotta remember something, Wes. I mean, all of us, we haven't played on stage in 15 years, and we've never played with him before. We were all, is there going to be anybody there? You know,
yeah, we were nervous.
I mean, we were nervous.
And I did my part with that.
The crowd definitely.
Trying to get people
I mean, we were.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe if there was going to be people there with their arms folded, just staring at us like, "What are these dicks doing?" You know, there's no Haga there.
That's
whatever. You know,
I wasn't expecting.
So what you had the old horse core there, like me, and other folks that were there that got their fucking tats in 91, 92.